Maybe that's the Slytherin in me.
Slytherin. You're a Slytherin, bro. It just makes sense to me more and more. I don't know why. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with being. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a Slytherin. I think it's just the series. The series just framed it like they were so bad because all the villains were literally.
The niggas was evil, but even the way I'm talking right now, like I'm gonna use somebody for an opportunity, nigga. That sounds bad. That sounds
like
bad.
Slytherin. That's straight up Slytherin. That's straight up ambition, status, power seeking. That's Slytherin.
It is. I have no problem with it either. Like even morally, like I have no problem with it. I know it's fucked up. Low key, I know it's fucked up, but I don't give a fuck because it's gonna benefit me, and then I can use that.
I think most people are Slytherin actually.
Probably.
In all actuality.
Probably. Ain't nobody trying to be no damn Ravenclaw. Ain't nobody trying to be no damn Ravenclaw, fam. Stop.
Nah, Ravenclaw is the weakest house to me. I really think it goes Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, then Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
It might even be. I might even switch Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. Hufflepuff and Slytherin.
Should we get started?
Yeah, we can get started. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Top Tier Podcast, episode 45. My name is Pale Al Poppy.
Nick Hogan here. What did
do? This week, I think we have some of the like craziest topics we had in a minute. Like some of these topics have been building over weeks because a lot of times we like to wait for the story to come to a head, but it's a lot of cap this week.
A lot of cap.
A lot of. Let me use the right word. A lot of bug dancing. Hopefully that's a good word.
Yeah, we have a lot of good shit to get to. I want to start with this Drake situation. I got to stop cursing, man, in the beginning of the videos. I heard that does terrible for YouTube monetization.
Yeah, which is interesting because dudes be screaming and cursing and like I show speed in these dudes.
But notice they never do it in like the first 2 minutes, the first 5 minutes of the show. They never do it. Because I think YouTube does something to that. Same with the podcast platforms.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about this Drake stuff instead of the other word. So Drake is about to retire. Say the headlines, not me.
Cap.
Now he said it on the interview.
Sensationalist headline.
He said it on an interview that he was planning his detour away from rap. He was saying he wanted to make sure that he had a quote unquote gracious exit, I believe is the words that he used. Do you believe that at all?
I don't believe rappers truly retire from rap because, like, look at Logic. He had a whole going away album and then he released music the next year. Mm-hmm. And he made it a whole big deal about, like, they didn't appreciate me and blah, 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 and it's fine. I'm a family man.
And he came right back.
That's cool, but, like, came right back making music. So I don't believe that. I just believe they start to slow down. The rap doesn't become a focus. Like a Donald Glover. Like the man's a show writer. The man's a director. The man, you know what I mean? Like he's on the bigger and better things.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if he released a Childish song or a Childish album in 5 years. Could be just a song. Could be just an album. I wouldn't be surprised. You might just be inspired. But they're slowing down on it though. It's like a soft retirement.
I don't think Drake wants to retire. I think it's everybody's fault. It's all the so-called fans' fault. You guys have been clowning him the last 3 albums. Maybe not Her Loss. Her Loss people seem to enjoy. It's actually doing really well in the charts. But that Honestly Nevermind track or album, y'all clowned that stuff, bro. Clowned it. And so I think when he sees that type of stuff and he's like, dude, if y'all don't want to appreciate the music, then let me just play on my getaway.
That's soft. I'm sorry, man. Like, even Drake's duds are like commercial smash hits compared to everybody else in rap.
Of course.
I wouldn't care. I'd be like, these dudes didn't like my Get That Shit. Sorry, I didn't curse.
How far are we in? We're far enough, I think.
Get It Together. Get it. Yeah. But like, Get It Together. I was thinking the lyrics of the song, but like, that's why I said Get That Together. But Get It Together, like, Honestly Nevermind was literally like, Get It Together turned into an album.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody likes that, but like I loved it. I love that sound.
I loved it
and
too.
He has a lot. He knows he has a ridiculous amount of fans who like it. I just feel like a lot of these celebrities getting their feelings.
Maybe it's not.
I'm projecting. If you made millions off the album, what's the problem?
Maybe I'm projecting. I just think that a lot of the vocalization, a lot of the vocal fans have just been saying that a lot of his music is kind of subpar. I mean, I've literally hearing conversations.
He gets clowned on every album. He does.
He does. But I'm literally hearing conversations to this day. This man, I mean, has so many records in terms of sales and in terms of charting singles and charting hits. But there's people that are out there that are still talking about Drake not having a classic album. That type of rhetoric is liable to
Stop.
make me want to stop.
Let's stop now. Let's stop the bullshit.
Stop
right
what?
now. I'm talking about the people saying that.
Oh yeah, I
we're
know.
talking about the people saying that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we already know. What is it? Nothing Was the Same is a classic. Let's stop right now.
Yeah.
Take Care is a classic.
Take Care is a classic.
Let's stop right now.
I think that
stop right
Her
now.
Loss is a classic. I really, dude. I listened to Her Loss.
I can't get down
a lot.
on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if other people thought that.
And then in my opinion,
I think More Life is really good. Not a classic, but
bro, come on. When you start, see, this is the thing that I think, and I know I'm putting on the Drake cape, and this wasn't supposed to be a cape for Drake the entire time, but when I think about Drake, I know that I can have a conversation with Drake about to anybody, with anybody. If I ask anybody, hey, name a few Drake albums, they're gonna be Her Loss, Honestly Nevermind, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same. They're gonna be able to just off the top of the dome name another 5 artists that you could do that with.
Not a lot.
Exactly.
Especially like modern day rap.
Exactly.
Like, what are the top 5 Kodak Black albums? What are the top 5 Lil Yachty album names? Thank you. What? Who? What? I'm confused. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, what are the top Future albums? And you can do better with Future, but I think most people
maybe. I think most people are gonna name a few of any artist, bro. Not even just rap. If I said I can't even name you 5 Taylor Swift albums, that's what I'm saying.
We are so far from the demographic,
but she's huge.
We definitely wouldn't.
She's huge though. Drake is on that level of like the Taylor Swifts and the Beyoncés and stuff like that. To me, like he's iconic. He's up there with all of them in history. Drake is going down with amongst the best.
Drake is getting a chapter in the rap history book. No question.
That's why this news saddens
Most people now won't even get a mention in the book. He's getting a chapter.
This news saddens me, bro. But if he were to actually be planning his retirement, I mean, he said that he's not. People didn't obviously in the full headline say that he said that. He continued to say that he wasn't planning on making a detour away from music anytime soon. But if he were to make the detour around, in the next 5 years per se, let's say, is that too early? I think he has a lot of music left in him.
I think he still has like 10 more years of music in him, in my opinion.
Is it too early, too late?
He's just gonna take like a Jay-Z kind of role,
right on time,
like a Diddy, like a 50 Cent. Like they retire, but these dudes are businessmen, like primarily.
Drake is already doing that too, so
he already is a businessman, right? I'm not saying he's not, but I think he's gonna full time it. He's gonna make that 90% of his focus instead of maybe 60% of his focus.
Get them good licensing deals. I mean, did you see that they used one of his songs in the Shazam trailer?
Oh yeah. Started from the bottom now. Yeah,
that was terrible. That was terrible. But he got his money.
It was terrible, but he getting his money.
Exactly.
I would not care. Run me my checks every time it gets played.
That shit was awful. I wonder if that movie's gonna be as bad as Ant-Man. I haven't seen Ant-Man,
I don't know why out of all the DC movies I've seen and trailers I've seen, I would actually go see that movie over every other DC movie.
Oh God!
I either have seen or have never seen because I hate DC.
Oh,
so I haven't seen most of the DC movies anyway.
That movie looks like ass.
I don't know why. I just like this concept of just like these teenagers just like Shazam, and they're just like these brawling, grown, middle-aged but like Brawlic Jack looking superheroes.
Well, speaking about Brawlic, that's a great transition right there. Speaking about Brawlic,
that's a great transition.
We have some raccooning to take care of right now.
Raccooning in Spain and not Spain. I don't know why I said Spain. We got some raccooning to take care of. So anyway, this is big. I'll be surprised if a lot of our viewers have not heard of these guys. But there's like these 2 guys on TikTok. One of them is named Big Groove, but he used to go by Big Gorilla. If you can believe it.
That is
unbelievable. Go by Big Gorilla. And there's another guy named Yudi Gang. They do like, people are calling it, and we agree, but people started this trend. They're calling what these guys are doing modern day minstrel shows. So people who don't know what minstrel shows are, like late 1800s, early 1900s, they would have like either white people get on stage and do full on blackface with black lips and like put on a wig, and they'd be just doing this like, these super degrading depictions of black people.
Right.
And then they even have black people get on stage and they would paint themselves darker and do the red lips, and they would do the minstrel show. And for a lot of black people to break into the industry, it was like a rite of passage. You had to be humiliated to like get on as an artist, an independent artist. You had the minstrel show.
Exactly.
But these guys, it feels the same way, like the eyes and just the noises. Like, let me give you an example. So the Yudi Gang guy, you can look him up. Just look up Yudi Gang on TikTok. He makes videos where it's like he'll go to like a restaurant. A lot of them are like primarily like white people in the restaurant, and he'll like get like a bowl of chicken, and like the server will be preparing the chicken. There's a video of servers preparing the chicken, and he's like sitting in front of the bowl like,
oh my God, characteristic.
And you guys in the video see it. He's like licking his fingers, and he's like bouncing up and down.
He's like a cartoon.
Making noises.
Yeah.
Like he's a cartoon animal, like barking it like a dog, just like wait, let me put the food out. He's like,
That's true.
drooling over the bowl. And he does that like all these different videos where it's like, I got a bowl of chicken. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Got big old burger with the cheese.
Just acting ignorant.
It's just like, whoa, dude. I mean, his eyes be like cocked, like, got the bowl with the chicken.
And people have been doing
I'm
that
just
thing
like-
where they line up his image, a still image of him with some of those posters from the minstrel shows back in the 1800s.
And it looks exactly the same.
The exact same. I might put that as an overlay when we talk about this too, because it looks. I don't think anyone is debating it. Anybody who's well versed on any type of history in this country about Black people, when it comes to those shows, they see it clearly. I mean, you could talk to any generation too, I'm sure, because you were saying that they have a petition for one of them, right?
Yeah, there's a whole petition. There's a video over 300,000. They were trying to get rid of Big Groove, and Big Groove's the next guy we haven't talked about. His videos are similar.
It's Big Gorilla. It's Big Gorilla.
Big Gorilla. But he does the same thing where like there's a video of him like they served him like a stack of 5 pancakes, and it was like the sauce was like contained in like the cylinder, and when you remove the cylinder, all the juice just spreads all over the pancakes.
You make
and he
me
just
hungry.
picked it up and was like, he picked it up and he does this thing with his mouth where he's like, I can't even do it. Like he just opens his mouth like wide, and he's just like,
just making.
and then
just
after he
making
takes a
fool.
bite, he gets up and just starts doing all these like dances and gyrating and doing all this. And he's just big
Shaking
brolic
ass.
dude. I saw a video of him where he dressed up as Donkey Kong with a tail and started doing dances because he's
on,
Big
bro.
Gorilla.
Come on,
It's
bro.
just like, what, dude? Like, we know what's going on.
It's blatant.
Y'all are just cooning on the internet because you know people like to see that dehumanizing nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have big followings. UD Gang has 6 million followers on TikTok. Like, and I can promise you most of them are not Black people. It's weird.
Speaking from our own platform, our own show, and the stuff that we put out, most of the people that are talking in our comments and that are following us are also white people. So I would understand that most of those 6 million are probably white people. I think that they're just heavy on this shit. I really do.
And that's fine. And I think all of our audience right now, you know, we don't discriminate based on race. We do get a lot of racially charged topics, but
I'm talking about the ones that are loud and vocal.
I'm just making it
For
clear.
the wrong
The
reasons.
ones that are loud for the wrong reasons, yeah. But I just like, dude, like, and people like, you know, and Cardi B is an example. People are starting to speak up now that it's getting big and saying that we're exaggerating. People like us who are trying to get them Thanos snapped off the internet are saying we're hating and we're exaggerating. Cardi B releases a video saying these guys, she thinks they're doing too much, but they're just having fun and she'd rather them get famous and make money. But I'm like, dude, like, they're dehumanizing themselves. They're playing off of historical tropes and stereotypes to make money. It's disgusting to me. And I don't understand why that is okay. Why is that being okay by a lot of people?
Like anybody who understands the history, a lot of people don't understand the history. Like a lot of people aren't going to look at certain things and be like, oh yeah, I could see how that could be racist, or I could see how that could be problematic. A lot of people will try to gaslight you and just be like, oh no, they're just having fun. Like, no, we know what this is.
Bro,
the man
there's
named
a couple
himself
that's
Big Gorilla. Come on.
Big Gorilla.
Come on.
And he dresses up in a DK costume and gyrates and dances around.
Come on, man.
Like he's putting on a show. Like, and I don't even want to get too deep into this one, but the last thing is like the UD Gang dude. There's a video of him holding a big ass piece of watermelon, and he's like, and he's like eating it. He's eating it like it's like crack cocaine. Like, dude, like, let's stop.
The equivalent,
let's stop.
To put it in perspective, for the people that still don't really follow us, the equivalent is if someone were to put on like a big mammy, like the mammy, like an Aunt Jemima costume.
Yeah.
And then if y'all are gonna say that that's not, and call yourself like Jemima or something like that on your as your platform at, if y'all are really gonna go there and say that this stuff isn't what we say it is,
or Mammy Gang. And she just goes around dressed up like a mammy talking to people. And
then y'all are just stupid. I mean, or just ignorant to the facts. But we can keep it moving.
But And the last thing, and I got one more question, but like, do
Go
you
ahead.
think that should be banned? Do you think this is suppression of free speech? Like, or do you think this should be treated as racial abuse?
I mean, it is free speech. They have the free speech to do what they're doing. You wouldn't be able to get as large of a following. Have people like us talking about it if you didn't have the free speech to do what you were doing. But it's also
this is a good point.
It's also free speech for us as the viewers. And I'm not one of the people that are signing the petitions or anything like that. But we're talking about it as if saying like this is a negative thing. So if people are on TikTok and Instagram or whatever trying to petition for these people to get removed, that's free speech as well.
Yeah, I agree. But you know, these are private platforms. So, and this is not even an American-owned platform. So it's really up to the company if they're like, hey, we don't like this, we should get rid of them, or we're going to keep it.
They probably won't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm positioning the question as to, do you think they're ever going to get removed, or you think it's just going to be?
No, they probably won't. They probably won't. Because we see, I mean, I don't know if you wanted to get all deep into what we were talking about earlier, but we see this, because I agreed with you, it's kind of becoming a pattern for a lot of these streamers and a lot of these TikTokers. We don't have to name names, but it's kind of becoming a pattern. I mean, we talk to our white friends.
And I do want to name names. I do want to name names. Because it's like, these are just YouTubers.
You can have
like,
it. This is
these are public figures. but my thing, and we got to. I know my name is out there, but we got to be careful, man. I don't want niggas knowing my full name. You can call me.
I should cut the last name.
Yeah, you can cut the last name. Yeah. My first name is fine because a lot of YouTubers, people know their first name. But yeah, what I was saying is, my correlation is just look at like the iShow Speed dudes. Look at like the Flight Reacts dudes. Like, tell me you don't see a correlation with Big Groove and UD Gang.
It's a little bit of a pattern.
Like the over the top, like you put on a show, like, you know what I mean? Like, what I mean is like the noises and the over the top and the bouncing up and down and just the and the screaming and all this, and it just seems like people found a lane and say, if I just act goofy, I just throw a little bit of black stereotypes in there. Mm-hmm. People will watch me make a fool of myself, and I'll make a lot of money.
It seems like it. Yeah, it's another version of tap dancing.
It's just another version. People have done it since the early 1800s. Not, you know what I mean? So not early 1800s. Since the late 1800s, early 1900s. That's been a thing since then. It just seems like an evolution. It's like now we don't even have to do it in the industry. We can do it on the internet and get more, get direct access to all these people and make even more money.
Because I would say the same thing. I would say the same thing, even go further than that, about like some of these hip hop artists. Like there's people out here that literally would try to project a certain image of a quote unquote thug just to get clout, just to get views, likes, people listen to the music. That's not who they really are, but they see that other black people can come up off of that type of image. And that image resells to people that are outside of black culture as well, because that's what the image of a rapper is. It's just some thugs, some with the tattoos and the guns and the ops. And it's just attracted to certain people. And then that's what they try to play into. That shit is all fake, though. It's a different version of tap dancing.
It's all fake. They covered that heavily on Atlanta. Like the character, what's his name? Paperboy, for people who have seen Atlanta, Donald Glover. His whole thing was about, he had to project that he was a hard rapper. He had to project he would kill a dude, like a thug. And then people would come test his gangster and he would lose every time.
Yeah.
People would literally come to jump him and steal his chain and he would just be on the run because that stuff is not real.
Yeah.
His whole arc was dealing with like, how do I like navigate around people seeing me a certain way and me not actually being that, and those two worlds colliding. And it always ends in disaster.
Yeah, it's probably always going to end up in disaster. I mean, even the people that do live that life, like that shit ain't funny. All right, next topic.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about this. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can intro it. Yeah, the next topic is apparently Kanye and Adidas are back in talks and they're trying to mend their previous relationship, and it's calling Adidas into question about their virtue signaling when they first dropped Kanye.
Yeah, it's very obvious. I mean, these are the same people that dropped him for good reason, I thought. I mean, the man was actually spreading the guy said that he loved Hitler.
I mean, there's no defending Kanye. The dude went on Alex Jones was talking about, I can tell you so many things that I love about Hitler. Like,
and he was saying also like
there's nothing to defend.
Some other violent stuff about Jewish people. So for them to say what they said in terms of, yeah, he's spreading hate speech, he's spreading hate, he's being divisive, this doesn't stand for the values of our company, and it's unacceptable, it's hateful, it's dangerous. They were saying all types of different stuff. They called it dangerous. They said he was a dangerous guy. And then a few months later, turn around and for money's sake. That's the only reason
This
why they
all,
did it.
all revenue related.
They said that this is going to be the first year in 30 years that they're going to take a loss because they have a whole bunch of stock of Yeezy shoes that they can't put Yeezy on. So now we have to go back to the guy that we said was all these terrible things so we can get some millions and billions of dollars back. Unbelievable. They're not the only ones that do it, though.
It just tells these companies, and we know this. Let me preface this. We already know this. This is just further proof. These companies don't care about anything. All they care about is green. So I'll say whatever. I'll fake support this movement, fake support that movement, cancel this dude, and you're still going. And if the money's not looking right after it, you're going to go right back to doing what you were doing.
Yeah. Yeah,
they didn't care about Kanye's anti-Semitism. They just thought, hey, we might lose a lot of money if we don't drop him.
I just wonder.
The opposite happened.
I just wonder when Kanye West gets his money, right? And he's in the midst of this deal with Adidas. I don't know if it's going to be like a one-time off thing. It's probably going to be like a one-time off thing where they just write him a check and now they can sell all the rest of the inventory. But when they write him that check and Kanye West starts blabbering his mouth again, what are they going to say the next time? Because you've already proven that whatever you said the first time, whatever those apologies on Kanye West's behalf were, and we don't accept it, and we're going to distance ourselves from it, because they weren't the only company that did that as well. They're just the only company that's brought him back. What are they going to say the next time? There's no excuse.
Next time, but they're just going to ignore it.
There's no excuse.
Like a lot of companies, when a lot of companies get controversy, they'll just put out a statement like, we don't agree with his views. The end. And the dude doesn't get fired. Nothing happens. They just ignore it and just hope it blows over.
I just really
can't do it twice. You can't do it twice. That's way too bad.
I just really
they're
going to
try to play it off next time.
Please just do not buy this shit. There's no need for us to buy this shit.
I'm not an easy guy. I'm not even a Jordan guy. I was when I was a kid, but like, come on, man. I don't get it. Like, Kanye has already proven. I mean, with his cooning and his now his new anti-Semitic antics. You can't defend the guy. Like, I don't. Especially if you're black. Like, I don't know why you buying Yeezys at this point, man.
I know that people are gonna buy this stuff though, because it's just another part of the hierarchy of the money making. So Adidas is gonna make the shoes and sell it for the profit, and then they're gonna sell it to the people that deem themselves to be like resale people. They're gonna buy it and try to sell it back to people for more. Everybody's in the same system. They're wrapped up in it. But if we really care, because a lot of us try to act like we really care about when these companies, and we try to point and act like we're woke about, like, oh no, they're just saying happy Black History Month and we celebrate this for that, just to virtue signal, right? A lot of us can identify that, but at the same time, when we're met with a lot of these decisions, such as this Kanye West Yeezy situation, what are we actually going to do? Are we actually going to boycott the shoe? Are we actually going to be upset?
A lot won't. Many won't.
The majority won't.
Kanye has like probably the most loyal fans. He's like on Trump level in terms of his loyalty. Like,
Adidas is going to get away with
fans
this.
Are like loyal, but Kanye fans are up there in terms of loyalty.
They're going to get away with this, and they're going to think of themselves like geniuses. But this is just terrible, because I have a lot of faith in the consumer. I really do. But I think that I give them too much credit.
After Marvel and all these remakes and reboots and sequels, I don't think anybody should have faith in the consumer.
That's a great example of it.
I just don't. Even myself, I buy remakes and stuff. I'm included.
Yeah. Even the people.
And go see reboots.
Even the people, let's transition to this Grant Cardone situation, because even the people that say that they don't, and maybe it's not a corporation, maybe it's just an individual that they say is such a bad person behind closed doors, and all of a sudden something leaks, right? Grant Cardone says, oh yeah, I can talk to black people and black people appreciate me because I speak in street terms. I use street language.
And I can speak down to their level in street terms.
And then that gets released, that gets exposed, and people are saying all this crazy stuff about how, not crazy, but a lot of people are saying that, like, oh no, we already saw this coming and stuff, but then are going to be the same people that show up to his doorstep to make some money with him.
Yeah, people have no, when it comes to money, people have no standards. But let's not swing past what he said, right? Because I think it's incredibly disrespectful to even, first off, talk down to their level that you're assuming most black people are stupid. And then we conveniently ignore all the other groups of people who are uneducated and stupid as well. It's always us. It's always just a focus. It's just that we look at black people's lowest common denominator and then stretch it out to be everybody else. Because I don't know very many uneducated black people in my personal circle, even in my family. So I don't even know what the dude he's talking about, for one. Right? And now, you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's just blatantly disrespectful. And I think just in a general sense, if you don't support him, keep not supporting him. If you support him and you're black, you're cooning. If you do business with the man, you're cooning.
See, that's
you're making money, but you're helping a racist make money.
I do kind of disagree with the fact that with certain people that have value, like, for example, if we're tying this conversation to the Kanye West conversation, Adidas is fucked up for what they're about to do with Kanye West, right? But Kanye West,
it's really the same thing in a different way. But
it is.
You're working with a reprehensible person.
But this
to make money.
What I'm gonna say is that Kanye West is not fucked up for going to work with Adidas. In the same token that Grant Cardone is fucked up for what he said, in order to get his money, he's going to use people because he's thinking of them in a certain regard, and they're just a pawn to make me more money, right? But if someone were to go and work with Grant Cardone in order to make themselves money, I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, you go work with Grant Cardone, but you think you're working with him for free? You think he's not getting something at the end of the deal?
He gets what he gets.
So you're working with somebody who has certain views of your people, lower views of the intelligence of your people, and you're getting money. That's buck dancing. We were just talking about Big Gorilla and Yudi Gang. It's the same thing.
For example,
you're lowering yourself. You're lowering yourself for profit.
Because we were seeing that a lot of these interviews were being taken down. Black people and black platforms that have been working with Grant Cardone in the past, not working with as if they had a continuous relationship, but maybe had an interview with him. Those interviews are now being taken down. I don't think that needs to be necessary. I really don't think that working with someone in order to gain an opportunity to provide you with something that you now no longer need to work with them again, I don't think that's a problem. Now, if you have a continuous relationship, I could say something about that.
Yeah, because people are getting on these other channels who promoted him and worked with him because they're like, y'all don't try to backpedal now. But I think like EYL, they addressed the issue. You know, other channels who are related in that EYL sphere, they've addressed the issue. Who also have worked with Grant Cardone. I think if you address the issue and you take the videos down, I have no problem. But like you said, if in a year from now we see another Grant Cardone video, you're going to get stomped out virtually. Yeah. You're going to get dragged virtually.
If they pull an Adidas.
Period, point blank. Because that's literally pulling an Adidas. Once it blows over and in some way your bottom line is impacted and you can't stand on principle, because that's just Adidas' failure to stand on principle. Like, you taking a loss this year, if you really are about it, if you really believed in what you said and why you cut Kanye, you would have just taken the L. Yeah. You knew it was coming. Let's not act like they didn't know it was coming. This was just all. Now I'm thinking this is just some public saving face. Like, Kanye, we'll have to cut you temporarily. Like, we just have to do it, but we'll renegotiate in a year when it blows over.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like to me. This seems like this is all calculated. Because they knew they were going to take a loss. How do you not know? Why is it taking so long for you to know that you're going to take a loss, and now all of a sudden you're panicking and going back to Kanye? Like,
and another thing about this Grant Cardone situation, another thing is, a lot of times, not even a lot of times, I think it's just commonly accepted that we just, as black people, work with white people who we believe or know to have certain views about us. That's just commonly accepted. Maybe this situation is like different, but explain to me how it's different.
It really, to be honest with you, it really isn't different. If you're thinking a lot of, it's just not as publicized as this. I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of people have racist bosses, and a lot of people in the music industry probably have racist, you know what I mean? Like, there's like racist label, owners of the label. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. We're not personally there, but this is a very public situation.
Let me give you another example where we had a public situation in which something very, very similar was done. Jerry Jones was caught in a photo of being at a fucking Klan rally. Do you think any of the NFL people NFL players that play for the Cowboys are going to be like, actually, no, I don't want to work for him. I don't want to work with him.
They're getting a check.
Exactly. These people,
when you think about it like that, yeah.
All these people that are showing up and saying Oscars too white, you think they're just going to stop accepting Oscars?
No, but I think it's just more so you just being aware. Like I understand the players, like this is how they eat. This is their lifeline. That's a little different. But for people going to the games, buying the merch, loving the team, you're not as held by the same rules, I think. I can get on you more than I would get on a player who might be working on getting traded. It's a very different situation.
It's all for
you might
money.
Have to stick it out for a little while.
It's all for money, though. It's all for the livelihood. So I don't see a difference. If someone who wants to work with Grant Cardone or read a Grant Cardone book and pay Grant Cardone so that they can have access to the knowledge that Grant Cardone can provide to better their financial situation, I think it's all the same.
I just can't get behind. And we've had this conversation before about Kiyosaki, and I'm not going to get too deep into that. But I just can't get behind supporting someone unless, alternate methods, I'm not going to say what it is, to get the knowledge, to get the books, alternate streams. We're not going to say exactly how you do it, but you know what I mean. If you feel you need to get that Grant Cardone book, there are alternate ways to do it. That's all I will say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not paying this due for a course. I'm, like I said, alternate ways. If you feel you need it, but if you pay the money, you're a coon. You're empowering a racist. That's all I got to say.
I invest in a lot of companies where I'm sure that they have some of these people have the same type of view that Grant Cardone
you know what?
has.
This is my mentality about that. If you get caught, you get caught. Ignorance is bliss. I'm going to invest in a whole bunch of companies. If I don't know, I don't know. But if it comes out that a top level all get caught, if it's just one guy, we don't really know. But if it's like a whole top level, all the owners are like, yeah, I hate N-words. Yeah, I hate them too. That's a little different.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But when is that going to actually happen? That's the ignorance is bliss. We know exactly. But if it's like one guy, like one public figure, and you get caught, I can't support you.
Or
even like Adidas, like.
And I do justify it. I do justify it sometimes for financial gain. I'm the same people that I'm talking about in the last topic where I was saying like, if y'all really serious about the boycott, be serious about the boycott. So maybe that's my hypocrisy.
Because that's what I'm saying. If you're really down with the cause, you weren't really down with it if you're still supporting the company. I think.
Yeah.
But that's just me. That's all I really have to say about Grant Cardone. That is just like it's typical, it's expected. We didn't even talk about how he's saying all this dehumanizing, lower expectations of black people. But then the dude is like, in another interview, I think this is like a long time ago, he was like, I should be able to say N-word. I should have N-word.
I saw that.
Not even a black man. It would be disrespectful with a black man anyway. But that'd be like if I was talking to you about why I should be able to say a racial slur about a whole entirely different group.
Yeah, exactly. I saw
that. I should be able to say that word.
It probably was like because like the guy asked him like name 5 Lil Wayne songs and he was able to do it. And all of a sudden I should be able to say the N-word, huh? I've earned my N card. That's unbelievable.
I have good rapport with the blacks.
The people are going to be like, oh, he was just joking. He was just joking. The N-word he was talking about was Nickelback. Remember that dude in our comments said that?
Yeah. Oh my God.
He didn't really mean to say the N-word. He was saying Nickelback.
He was saying Nickelback. And the dude was like, wrote like 3 paragraphs. Like when you trigger like these racist dudes, they'll like type in all caps in broken English, just like a 3 paragraph rage response. Like, dude, don't you have something better to do?
No proofreading, no critical thought. Just
3 paragraphs of rage and right wing anger. Like, I don't know, dude.
Those are the types of people that I think the Oscars are trying to save their performers from. Let's talk about this Oscars situation. That's not really a situation, but the Oscars says that they are now going to have a crisis team in order to avoid certain situations like what we saw with Will Smith a couple years back. So I was like,
I think it's stupid.
I was like, so you mean security?
Like they don't already have that now. I think they're just continuing to just fuck with Will Smith. Stop. If they didn't have security, random people from the street will be like raiding the place, dude. It reminds me of like the Game Awards when that random dude got on stage and he was like, "Thank you to my doctor Joe Biden," or you know what I think he said something like that.
Yeah,
like, my rabbi Joe Biden. Yeah, and some random dude just raided the stage. I'm like, that would happen every year at the Oscars squad, if they didn't have security. Let's stop right now.
No, I don't think so. I don't know how exactly how the format of the seating arrangements are, but I'm pretty sure that the only people that have access to like Will Smith when he did that was sitting front row.
Yeah.
You know, like at the Grammys, they have all the awards, the people that are nominated for awards sit in the middle. They're the only ones that have access to just walk up on the stage. Everybody else is in fucking stands. I don't know if the Oscars is like that, but they hold them in the same types of venues, I'm pretty sure.
I actually see what you're saying, because you don't really, it's probably like you said, the people who are nominated, they think you're straight. Like they think you're not going to cause any trouble.
Yeah.
So they probably don't have security for them, but the people in the stands might. So they
Probably.
maybe, but they're like exaggerating it. This is a non-conversation. This is a non-story.
You
almost.
say everything
This
is a
to me.
non-story.
But let me explain though. But let me explain why I think it's a story to a certain extent. Is because they're just trolling Will Smith. They're just drumming up more.
They
Will
are
Smith.
trolling Will Smith.
We
though.
know
I
what
will
the
admit
man
that.
did. He apologized. They won't let it die. I'm like,
won't,
dude, a crisis team because of Will?
I think called it
shouldn't
a
you
crisis.
already have security?
But see, at the same
Shouldn't
time,
you? Because people after Kanye, you would think that would be a standard. Like
Different
you don't
award
want some
show.
random celebrity coming on.
different award show, different production.
Different award show, but like
That's
it should just
never
be a
happened at the
standard
Oscars,
practice.
yo. Most times, people are just going to be like, "Boo," or send some jeer at you like Will Smith was doing originally. He was just jeering at him, but then eventually, I mean, shit got violent, and so because the violence took place,
And listen, dude, like I'm not denying it was violent. He slapped the man. But it's not like he cold cocked and knocked this dude out. It's not like he punched this dude, sat on his chest, and continued punching him in his face until security came. He slapped this dude probably with medium strength. Probably, I'm not saying, I'm not discounting it. It's a violent act. Listen,
that can't
it
happen.
is a violent act.
That can't happen.
It's a violent, and listen, it can't happen. I'm not saying that it can't happen. But people are like, what's her name? I forget her. Amy Schumer was like, I'm traumatized. So a man preschool slapping with medial power another man and walking away is traumatizing.
Well, it could be. It could be.
That's that embellishing I'm talking about with the crisis actor thing. The crisis team thing.
Look, I wasn't personally traumatized by that situation, but if you remember, around that same year, there were multiple situations. I'm going to mention the Dave Chappelle situation where that stupid ass little boy walked up at the Hollywood Bowl.
Tackle him.
I'm just
He
saying,
tried to tackle him.
I'm just saying violence is violence. Like no one should have the access to do that in the first place.
And he had a knife, I'm pretty sure.
He did.
That's a crazed psycho off the street.
I know it's levels
tried
to it.
attack him.
I know there's levels
is
to
way
it.
different.
But when you think about the fundamental of what actually happened, it was just a random person. Will Smith is known, but it's just a random person walking up on stage and assaulting the person that's performing on stage. That cannot happen. Now the whole crisis team, like that's good marketing to me. That's just crisis team. Like that's good marketing. They don't need to say any of that. All they mean is security when you really break it down. But yeah, I think that should be a thing. Like, and I'm sure that the performers and the hosts and the people that are actually saying the awards and who's nominated and stuff, they're gonna appreciate that the Oscars now
they're just upping the security.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's a problem with this at all. I actually think
It's
it's
basically
warranted.
it's really just stage security. Like it's really we're gonna just have dudes who are just like, because they're not thinking like these celebrities need to be handled like the public. Like at a concert, that's standard. Like what concert doesn't have stage security?
Yeah,
A dude tries to get on the stage, they're already on your ass.
yeah.
As soon as they see you put a leg up, these dudes are running.
Yeah.
Right? That's standard at a concert, but they're just saying we need that at the Grammys now for the rich socialite celebrities who can't control their alcohol or they get angry at comments about somebody's wife.
That was really crazy.
We need that for them now.
I kind of want to talk about Doja Cat a little bit, only because we talked about this a couple of weeks back when we talked about the Grammys and how Sam Smith, people were just accosting him online and saying that he was satanic and all that type of shit. They're doing the same thing now with Doja Cat, who just literally was wearing a costume and took some photos for a fucking photo shoot, bro. It's a photo shoot. These are celebrities. This is what they do. Y'all want to see this shit. And then all of a sudden, it's satanic.
Bro, and the costume was so tame. It just reminded me of just go out to a club on Halloween night. I swear to God, you'll see probably
same shit.
10 different, not men and women actually, wearing devil horn costumes in red. Stop, bro.
The thing that got me the most,
I don't understand that,
is that when the Shade Room posted it, they ended up taking it down and saying that they're not going to apologize for their faith, making it a Christian thing.
And I have my problems with the Shade Room. We ain't gonna We ain't gonna do it today. We ain't gonna get into it today. But
You don't have to.
It's just corny. That's their page. That's their page. I can't tell them that's your faith. That's your faith. You own the page. You own the page. I'm not gonna tell them what they can and can't do.
I thought they
that's
reported
your faith,
news.
cool.
I thought they were just reporting news, but she took it personal.
She clearly took it personal. I just think I don't have a problem with that because that's your faith. Cool. I don't see a problem with it. But what are your thoughts on it?
I just think it's hypocritical because they're literally a gossip show. I think they have a podcast, and I'm pretty sure that, I mean, obviously everybody knows about the Instagram and the Twitter. Their page is for gossip. Is that godly?
I don't think that's godly. I think
you talking about other people's.
You
talking about other people's baby mamas and baby daddies.
But you know, a lot of these fake
rumors.
Christians, they pick a sin to scrutinize people over, like a witch hunt, and they commit I don't know how many other sin and pretend like they're still a Christian.
All of them. We all sinners, yo. At the end of the day, we're all sinners.
If you're gonna look at it from that perspective,
subscribe
you're a
to
Christian.
If you're going to subscribe to the Bible,
all sinners.
Then exactly. So I don't really get that, and I think another
people will pick a sin and justify it, and then point at everybody else as doing something else that they have to deem that they're not going to do, and die on that hill like they're holier than you.
And it's like, why don't y'all keep the same energy for any of the men that are doing this stuff?
They lie and misconstrue all the time. The Shade Room.
Why don't y'all keep the same energy when all these rappers and these SoundCloud rappers are on stage with the fire and the pyrotechnics doing the same shit? They may not be in a satanic costume, but they be having the vampire eyes and the fangs and shit. Like, isn't that the same type of imagery?
And like the inverted cross.
Exactly.
The inverted cross, like
exactly.
Lil Uzi.
The man's name.
The blood diamond.
People have said that, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with it because it's just a theory. I don't know if he's ever said it, but people literally break down Lil Uzi Vert's name to Lucifer. And y'all don't say a damn thing. Y'all don't say a damn thing about it.
And they do. Don't get me wrong, but they don't come for him as hard.
Not at all. It's really only with the women who dress up in the same way that Doja was dressing up, and it's with
and the LGBT community, people from the LGBT community. They come after them hard. It's like women and people in the LGBTQ community. If they see any kind of quote unquote demonic, they go hard.
They correlate
hard.
How homophobic is that? Jesus Christ.
It's very homophobic. Because they're just like, well, you're already a sinner, so you must have just tapped in even more. You know how you know what it is. Like,
unbelievable.
So yeah, man.
Let me talk about the NBA a little bit. So we already know the trade deadline is over with. Lakers ended up trading Russell Westbrook. He made his debut for the Clippers yesterday. He is now a Clipper. Had a pretty nice game, honestly. He had a double-double. Pretty solid stat line.
Was he breaking like he was last year?
I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game. I really just want to talk about the fact that people think that, well, at least Russell Westbrook for a fact thinks that Laker fans didn't want him. He said at his press conference that he's actually happy to finally be playing for a team that appreciates the value that he brings and playing for fans that appreciate and want to watch him, want to see him there. And I'm like, nigga, when we were watching you play on the Lakers, bro, you were absolute ass. I understand
absolute trash.
When he was a sixth man, he was so bad that they moved him. He's been a starter his entire life. They moved him to the sixth man role. He was coming off the bench, and he was doing pretty solid. Like, I actually thought that Russell Westbrook did well this season compared to last season. Much better, in my opinion. And he was going to get moved anyway, so it was a good business move, But, nigga, no, we didn't want to watch you play. You were bricking everything.
I remember, I don't watch basketball, and I've seen compilations of him like playing like garbage.
Yeah, everybody knows it. People, like you said, people that don't even watch the game know that Russell Westbrook was a trash Laker. He's not a trash player, Russ. You're a trash Laker. It's a difference. You didn't fit with the team. So, yeah, you got to get shipped. We already know he wasn't wanting to stay with the Lakers next season. His contract is up after this season. He's not trying to stay with the Lakers.
At least he didn't have to move.
Yeah, that's true. He's still in LA. The Clippers ain't shit though. He's playing for a subpar team.
How do Clippers fans differ, man? I'm not a sports guy, but I just want to know like what's the difference between Clipper and Laker fans? Like I saw a little bit in high school and how people act at my school, but
it's exactly when it happened too. You never met a Clipper fan in your life until
I never knew. I thought Clippers were this is my ignorant of basketball mind. I thought Clippers was like irrelevant until I got to high school and it was like, oh, I was like, they're Clipper fans?
It was when they got Chris Paul and Blake Griffin on the same team and they were actually making playoff runs. Now everybody, that's what you call bandwagoning. Pure example, perfect example of it. Now a team is making it to the playoffs, and obviously LA is a huge city, so there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go to those games. Now you have bandwagoners that are joining the team and joining the fandom. That's when it happened. And then, because they quiet now. They quiet. The only time they ever, you know what's so crazy about it, and the way that you know it's just bandwagoning fans, and that they're not really serious about their team, is the only time you'll ever hear Clipper fans talk is when they do something that's better than the Lakers. If they make it to the playoffs and the Lakers don't, Clipper fans are loud as fuck.
If they feel some type of way, they feel like they live in the Lakers' shadow, so they have to really they feel little man. So when they get a win, they have to really let you know.
I've been to many Clipper games, bro. When you go to the Clipper games at the home games, they cover the Laker banners. They don't even respect the Laker franchise enough. It's like that's the only rivalry that the Clippers only matter because the LA Lakers matter.
Yeah.
And that's
they
facts.
Feel like they live in their shadow.
That's facts. They're even less than the little brother. You can't even say that the Clippers are little brother. They're worse than that. I don't get it because they're
like the irrelevant like cousin. They're like the irrelevant twice removed cousin who just somehow got a little bit of clout the last couple of years and is trying to hold on to that last little bit of clout they had in the 2010s.
Yeah, I was gonna say something at it, but I don't want to marginalize people. I don't want people being soft in our comments talking about how I said something. I
don't know why I keep thinking what you think LeBron would make a good Clipper. That just came to my head.
LeBron would be a great anything. LeBron is one of the best players of all time. To me, he's probably one of the best players. Arguably, LeBron could be considered the best player in the league right now. Arguably, I wouldn't say that, but it's arguable. But yeah, Russ, like you had to go, bro. Hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. Should we move into deep cuts?
I'm ready. All
right, let's get it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to the Top Tier Podcast. This was a fun one. We'll catch you the same place, same time next week. Stay safe. Take it easy,
y'all. Take it easy. Okay.